Coronaviruses are a type of virus. The one we're all talking about is new, and it causes a disease called COVID-19. Now, most people will only be mildly affected by it, but it can kill. It starts by infecting our upper respiratory tracts, which are the airways from your nose to just above your vocal cords. You may develop a fever as your immune system starts to fight the virus, and a dry cough. That's one where you don't produce any phlegm. The virus can then spread to the lungs, making it harder for people to breathe, and it can cause pneumonia. In the most serious cases, people can die from the coronavirus. This is because the immune system can go into overdrive, and that can lead to organ failure. So we need to do what we can to stop this virus from spreading. As it gets into your body by breathing it in or through your eyes and mouth, the best thing to do is wash your hands regularly and properly for at least 20 seconds. Catch your colds and sneezes in a tissue and avoid touching your face.
Ready. Welcome everybody.
Greetings upon greetings upon greetings.
So, happy Friday to everybody.
Yes, TGIF as they would say, right?
Is anyone else feeling off today? Is it just me? Like, I know Grant is, we know.
Yeah.
I'm feeling so off, but we're like, you know what? Maybe it's just everything that's going on. There's a lot going on.
Maybe something's in retrograde. Maybe something's going on with the stars.
Listen,
the
whole world's in retrograde right now. Okay, like, everything is happening that shouldn't be happening. So, Dave, I don't know. You didn't get to really catch that, but I want to reiterate something that the woman said. So she was explaining the virus and everything, and she said that the best thing to do is to wash your hands. That is how you're going to make sure that you do not get sick. She didn't talk about your immune system and how to build it.
Right.
So she didn't say anything. All she talked about was washing your hands, and that COVID-19 taxes your system. So you have to wash your hands. That's it.
Oh.
This is why this week, guys. Sorry, I'm a little off. I'm going to tell you now, but this is why this week. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to. You know what I should have done? I should have done a screenshot of this. I'm getting kind of wicked on the screenshots now. You guys will see. I have lots of pictures for you. This week's article, Toronto Caribbean newspaper, guys, pick it up. Don't believe the hype. I thought that was a cool title.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What's the hype? The hype is everything that you're seeing now on social media. That is the hype. So we are having a tough enough time, don't you think, just managing everything that's going on. So even that, do you realize what stress is doing to us, to our immune systems? I'm on this immune system thing for a reason. There's a point of all this. I have some great information to share with you guys. So I'm sure when you turn on the TV right now, you're seeing a lot of like, the headlines are very scary, very emotionally provoking. You're seeing people in hazmat suits. I have a picture there, Mr. Production Manager.
Yeah, as you mentioned that, I don't know, there was a basketball player. You know, basketball is resumed for those who are sports fans, right?
That's and Naomi Campbell in a complete hazmat suit going to the airport.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, there was a basketball player that actually dressed up in a hazmat suit to go to Orlando.
I know this is a painter suit, but I'm calling it it's an idiot suit is what it is. So we see these images of workers in hazmat suits, though, like empty seats, armed guards, and our brains instantly start to detect a threat. And we go into this fight and flight mode, which is why our bodies are so taxed out right now, right? Yep. So when popular media, I made a few notes here for you guys. I want even for you to take it in, Dave, okay? When popular media reports that, you know this already, rates of infections are skyrocketing. When you hear those words, what do you think, Dave? It's skyrocketing. And it's like, really?
Fear. Absolute fear.
Right? So that's why I said don't believe the hype. That's the reason why I gave the title
for this week's cover page.
Because it's hype. Now, don't get it twisted for a second. They know exactly what they're doing.
Right.
Like, I wish you guys could, I really wish I could take everybody one by one and bring them into this world of media for them to understand how it works, because if you understood it, you would not be where a lot of you are right now.
Yeah, for sure.
They're alarmists. That's what the media is supposed to do, alarm you. That is their job.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly, right? I mean, it's... We did a segment a while back in regards to misinformation and disinformation.
We should revisit that. Like,
Right.
you guys should definitely check that out. I'm going to post it so you guys can see it, because it's an important show.
Absolutely.
The misinformation one was yeah. We did like a series on that, didn't we?
You know, I mean, not to say that everything that they go ahead and put out there is in fact this misinformation, right? But there's a whole lot of disinformation going on in order to trigger, of course, the emotional tides and, right? Which, of course, induces stress and, of course, a breakdown.
Your immune system.
Right?
So
but
you know what else
don't worry,
lowers
though.
your immune system?
The liquor stores are open, so we'll be all right.
That was a good segue, Dave. That's exactly what I was going to say. You know what does lower your immune system? Liquor. So let's talk about what the government has done as of late. So July 15th, the Ontario government amended liquor laws to provide consumers with more delivery options and allow boat operators with liquor sales license to temporarily sell and serve alcohol. So you can all sell alcohol off your boat. If you're one of them bougie people who got a boat and a liquor license on your boat, you can even sell liquor off your boat.
Oh boy.
Recognizing the continuing need to practice physical distancing, Ontario amended their Liquor License Act. They took it. They all amended an act, Bridget, so people can consume more liquor. Okay? This will give consumers more options for delivery services, which is kind of tempting in a way, because I would much rather not have to go stand up in an LCBO line. Have you guys seen those lines? So you're telling me I can get liquor delivered straight to my house? Thank you, Ontario. Thank you for amending. But there's a problem with that, though.
Refining.
Yes, refinement. Can you explain what that means one more time for anyone who's just joining? Because we will say that a lot throughout the show.
All right. So anybody who knows me knows that I have read Neely Fuller's work, right? And Neely Fuller, if you don't know, he was the mentor to Dr. Francis Cress-Welsing, ISIS Papers. So he wrote his very informative book, which teaches us all about white supremacy, racism. Right. So now the four stages of implementing white supremacy, right? Which are also I'm going to use the acronym EMER. Right?
Emergency.
Which is exactly the first four letters in emergency. So E for establishment, M for maintenance, E for expanding, right? Which you see a lot of expansion taking place right now, right?
And the coronavirus.
Right. And the most deadly, of course, is the refinement, which is the R. Right. And the reason why I say this the most deadliest is because it's the use of words, in this case, deceitfulness.
Context. Anything with the word con, remember?
Very nice.
All
very
right.
nice.
So I guess that they're aware, the Ontario government is very aware, that people's efforts to manage this stressful time is to drink, right? Mm-hmm. But they also didn't tell us that it modifies your immune system. It depresses your immune system.
There you go.
Right? So according to the recent Nanos poll commissioned by the Canadian Centre on Substance Use and Addiction, it was found that since the pandemic began, 25% of the respondents between the age of 35 and 54 say they have started drinking more. Apparently, Ontarians are taking heed of health officials' advice to stock up when they shop in order to limit the time they go. So they're just, and we know, we've been in conversation with people who are like, yeah, we bought like everything so we don't have to go back again.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So people are doing it, right? Now, not once, everyone's saying let's amend these laws for liquor, but not once has anyone said, guys, have they opened a gym yet? Stock up on your vitamin C. They have vitamin C delivery services. Magnesium. Take a walk. None of that. They want to cover you up in your condo and apartment buildings now. That's what they want to do. Stay inside. Wear the mask because it's patriotic. This is what they're telling you right now. Guys, don't believe the hype. All right. Let's go into now some science, because what I've realized now is that what we have to lean on as journalists is not other journalists, because they're people. We've got to lean on science, things that have been proven over and over. With science, there is certain things that have to be followed through. There's methods. You have to find it reliable and valid, which means it has to be tested over and over again to come up with some type of something, an answer. So I went to science about this. I was like, okay, what does science say about our immune system? What should we know? What does our community need to know? First thing, guys, vitamin C. And I have some interesting information here for you. So 2-time Nobel Prize winner Dr. Linus Pauling was the first to realize that vitamin C has crucial importance when it comes to the maintenance of a healthy immune system. Recent medical research has confirmed Dr. Pauling's original idea that regular intake of vitamin C could help prevent and shorten the duration of a common cold. It is also very effective in preventing secondary viral or bacterial complications. I want to repeat that last line. It is also very effective in preventing secondary viral coronavirus or bacterial complications. Okay.
You know, I'm a big fan of vitamin C. You know that.
I know you are.
Yeah,
We take vitamin C every day.
Yeah, a little bit each day.
Like, it's important. So vitamin C works by actually stimulating the immune system and protecting against damage by the free radicals that are naturally released by your body. Dosage should be divided throughout the day because as you pee, you piss it out. So you can't just take like it all at one time. You've got to break it up, right?
Yeah.
So on March 3rd, and this is the part that I think is the most crucial piece of science that I read, and I had to put this in the article. Guys, read this for yourself and back check it if you'd like to. The government of Shanghai, China, this is March 3rd, 2020, announced its final recommendation that COVID-19 should be treated with high amounts of intravenous vitamin C.
You know, it's interesting that you say that because I had read a few articles and saying that a lot of the patients, they were treating them with
vitamin C.
Right?
So Richard Cheng, a Chinese-American specialist physician, has been working closely with medical and governmental authorities in China, and they have implemented vitamin C therapy, incorporating very high doses of it. And I found it interesting that this was not mentioned much in the news. Why haven't we heard about this more? Why didn't we hear when all this stuff was going on in Wuhan, when all we were seeing were people being sprayed and people in masks and again hazmat suits? No one was saying that this doctor had just said, look, just treat them with some vitamin C, fling some vitamin C, give them enough of it, they'll be fine. Why wasn't
Because, you know, it's big business. We already understand it. Dollars.
I know it's dollars, but it's just that I know it and you know it, but do our viewers know it? This is what we have to make sure that they know, okay? Let's go to the next thing, and I hope you guys are taking notes here. Someone who watched our show said, oh, it just looks like it's a lot of information. And in my head, I was like, yeah, because that's what it is. The show is giving you guys information.
Right.
It's not biased information in any way. This is stuff that's out there, okay? So magnesium is something else we're going to talk about. So there's over 100 years of magnesium research, 100 years, showing that magnesium powerfully supports the immune system. Magnesium is easily lost under stress, heightened fear, which in turn weakens your immune system. Magnesium should be the go-to immune system support strategy. So this is another tool that you can put in your little toolbox at home. It's not much, there's only 5 of them. Like, they're very easy. Some of them you can just get naturally. And I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to give you guys some natural ways to do it. And then, of course, what I choose to do, what I promise we're probably going to do, is switch to pills too, so I can get more of it, especially during the winter, right?
True.
So during the winter, we get more stress challenges when it's very cold, and this causes us to lose magnesium. So in the winter, it's even more important to like double up on it, right? So it has also been found that elderly populations tend to have decreasing levels of magnesium, which correlates with the onset of many diseases. Okay? So as they get older, you have less, and that's how you get more diseases. So same thing with us. We don't have a lot of magnesium in our system, we're going to get sick. So how do we replace and restore magnesium levels? So according to Cleveland Clinic, men need about 400 to 420 milligrams, and women need about 310 to 320. And you can get this from, let's see my list here, greens. Greens are good for you guys. Nuts, seeds, dry beans, and whole grains. Okay? So that's magnesium. There's our next little tool. Did you know that, Dave? Yeah, you did know that. I don't know why I'm asking you that for. All right, let's go on to our next thing. What do you think it is, Dave? Don't look at the script.
I've already seen it, so I'd be cheating.
Zinc.
Yes.
Zinc, guys. So, deficiencies in zinc represent a fairly prevalent human health problem and also accompany many Western diseases and conditions such as gastronis. Oh, I can't even talk today.
Gastrointestinal.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
I can say that, guys. Today I can. Gastrointestinal disorders, renal disease, sickle cell anemia, alcoholism, and some types of cancer, AIDS, burns, and other things. Okay? So zinc deficiency is said to affect all aspects of the immune system. This indicates that zinc is essential for the proper development and function of your immune system. Now, here's something else that I find interesting, because you know what I love? I love when I see the World Health Organization pop up in my research, because people love to turn to them for news, right? So according to the World Health Organization report, and this is in 2002, zinc deficiency ranks 5th among the most important health risk factors. It's 5th, guys. Can you imagine that? Now, mind you, this is in 2002, and we are in 2020, so things change. I don't know where that lies now.
It's probably increased.
It might have increased. They won't report that, though. So they reported, I got this one.
Yeah.
I could find this one quick. So how do you get your zinc? Meat, shellfish. If you're not an eat meter.
Not bad.
I'm going to stop and take a drink. Really and truly.
All right. So legumes like chickpeas, lentils, most beans.
Thank you, Dave.
Right. Peanuts, cashews, almonds. Right.
And dark chocolate.
Pumpkin seeds, yes.
And dark chocolate. For chocolate lovers, dark chocolate. You can
just
have
get your sea moss. Get your Irish moss. Full of zinc.
But it takes really long, and Dave never makes it. He always says he's going to make it.
Stop lying.
Okay, so the last thing, guys, there's 2 more things. So selenium. Dietary selenium is an essential micronutrient that affects various aspects of human health, including optimal immune response. So in most cases, an enhancement of SE gave an enhancement of your immune systems. I told you guys I was not here today.
All right, I'm going to let you go. Actually, you know what? Here, let me take this, and you can go right into vitamin D. Right?
Thank you.
So what selenium does is influence both the innate, the non-adaptive, and the acquired adaptive immune. Right? The innate immune system includes barriers to infection. Right. In addition, there is a great deal of information regarding how SE deficiency alters immune responses to a viral infection.
Viral infection, guys.
Yes.
There it is again. There's that word. They experimented on mice.
They always experiment on mice.
I don't know how they use mice as the equal to us, but they found some way to do it. Anyhow.
Right. So, yes, researchers compared SE adequate mice to SE deficient mice infected with the
influenza, which COVID is a strain of.
Right.
So you guys
and what
know.
they found was the deficiency may resulted in elevated inflammation, perhaps to higher levels of oxidative
stress.
There you go.
How do you deal with that? See, you need water now too, eh? I'm telling you, someone's trying to lock us up here. Brazil nuts, fish, pastas, whole wheat breads, whole grain, turkey, lots of options. Sunflower seeds, mushrooms, oatmeal, lentils, bananas, which is nice because I love bananas, and cashews. I wonder if it's just like the dry roasted one, if I can get the salted ones. It's the same thing. Ugh. I guess dry roasted.
Raw.
I'm getting them salted. I don't care. And the last one, guys. I'm not going to go into too much details. Vitamin D, guys. Vitamin D. Really quick story. I actually did a post on this. Those are some of the ways that you can get vitamin D. But one of the best ways to get vitamin D, guys, come out of your house, put on some sneakers when it's sunny, and walk. That's the best. It's probably one of the number one ways.
Yes.
So there's a study done with a Dr. John Cannell. I spoke about this about last week or so. It's on my Facebook feed, I believe. And he did a study on vitamin D. And when he gave his African-American, he was working with Black patients in a mental health facility.
Okay.
And when he gave them higher doses of vitamin D, he noticed that at some point a influenza thing broke out and all the wards got sick except for his ward.
Right.
His ward, and they were in a confined space. All the other wards, one by one, were getting sick. His ward, with the high doses of vitamin D, did not get sick.
Yeah, the same thing that Dr. Tillart was telling us, right?
So guys, we gave you 5 of them. So let's go through them. So it's selenium, magnesium, vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc. Most of these things you guys can just get by changing your diet. Like, a lot of us are home and are cooking more. So maybe just incorporating more greens. You know, instead of reaching for the bag of chips, reach for some cashews that have salt on it. Just drink a shake. Fling a banana with a whole... You know how nice a shake is when it's hot, guy? With nice frozen fruit. Put all that. You're getting all you need. And then go sit on outside and soak vitamin D. Guarantee you don't get sick this year. Anyhow, when we come back, we'll be talking about Dave. Okay, actually, I know what we're talking about. We're talking about some positives for the African Caribbean diaspora.
There you go. Yes.
We're talking stock exchange and also, I guess what they called it, the Canadian example of the AARCP. Did I say it wrong? AA.
Very much.
Double A NCP. Double A NCP. Double NACP. And double ACP.
We'll see you guys after the break. All right. So, as we all know, of course, you know.
What was that? We just got flung into the show.
Yeah, I know. It's all right, man. All right. Welcome back, everybody. You know, as we all know, of course, with everybody being pretty much online, right? There's been an influx in regards to like investing, right? And of course, the reason why we had our Dream Exchange because now it's become the first majority African-owned. Right.
African-owned.
Right. African-owned stock exchange.
Sorry.
Right. So I received this, in fact, from a direct press release and also blackenterprise.com. All right. So investing in stocks and bonds has always been one of the core principles of wealth building within the finance industry. For one former lawyer, it was imperative to give people within the black community the opportunity to invest and create the generational wealth. So he created the first majority black and minority owned stock exchange in the country. So this is a picture of Joe, and I don't know if I'm going to say his name right or wrong, but I'm going to say it as...
Is he African?
Sekela, either Sekela or Kisila, one of the two.
Is he African?
I don't know what his background is, to be honest with you, right?
Okay.
I really don't know what his background is.
Interesting.
Yeah, very, right? However, though, he's founded the Dream Exchange in partnership with Cadiz Capital Holding LLC. I think I have a picture there of them, the actual website. I tried to find a picture of the owners, but this, in fact, these were this is actually African owned. This is Capital,
Okay.
right? So,
Got it.
a black and minority-owned private equity firm led by William H. Ellison, who holds a majority ownership of the exchange. Right? So they created the platform to provide a space to match small and emerging businesses at an early stage with investors to generate more wealth creation for undeserved communities. Right? Sikala, and once again, I apologize if I'm butchering your last name. He credits his legal career for learning more about investing and driving him on a path to create his own company. He's quoted as saying, "Early in my legal career, I learned how stock exchanges hunt for liquidity." Right, because I was the lawyer for the founders of the, I'm not going to even go in and pronounce his name. Can you say that name for me, please?
Okay, let me
Yes,
try.
yes.
Let me try a thing. Okay.
Yes.
Archipelago.
Thank you very much. Right, one of the
Archipelago.
thank you. One of the first and biggest electronic stock exchanges in the world. So this company, once again, what's the name of it?
Archipelago.
Thank you very much. Grew into what the world has come to know today as the New York Stock Exchange. Right? Because of my experience in understanding the formation of the world's greatest electronic stock exchange, I learned how a stock exchange creates and controls liquidity in the markets. Right? So, I mean, this is something definitely that will go ahead and allow us to be at the forefront, especially when it comes to now in the whole investing stage,
But
the stock exchange as well.
I think that's wonderful, but how many people actually understand how stocks work?
Well, and that's the thing, right? I mean, tell you this, right? People are going to go ahead and follow the money, right? And especially with the trend right now, in regards to everything supporting our own, because I am going to say it is a trend, right? Because if you notice, right, it's not just us that's saying it; it's
Everybody's
all
saying it
cultures
now.
are saying it right now,
Yeah.
right? Businesses who simply had no business with us whatsoever, so to take our money, is now throwing money our way, right? So it is what it is. But I'm hopeful for this, because by means, if this is something now where it creates like a triangular trade, where now I guess the Caribbean businesses involved, and of course businesses on the continent involved as well, then by means it's definitely something to go ahead and
Hold
look
on a
forward to.
second. Is my mic bad? Okay, my mic's good now. Sorry.
Right? Cool. So yeah, Sikala hopes that the new stock exchange will allow for more in his community to go into investing, in addition to promoting new businesses to potential investors. His last quote here is stating that the importance of a black-owned stock exchange cannot be understated. Research from the SEC's IPO task force shows that 92% of all jobs are created after a company goes public.
Okay.
Right, so by means, with the 47 million they have over there across the border, by means, this could definitely go ahead and actually change a lot of people's lives.
But I think people need to learn about it first.
That's what he says, right?
Okay.
He does say that.
Yeah.
He's hopeful that people in the community actually will go
Yeah.
into this type of
I think it'd be
investment,
great.
right?
Yeah. All right. So what's going on? Because we the North. And what was it? Is it NAACP?
It is the NAACP.
What did I say? I said that the first time.
I'm sure people will turn back to the last segment.
Oh, wow.
Right. Black North Initiative Summit launched. When was the 20th? The 20th was this past week, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't remember. Anyways, July 20th, in fact, the day when it launched, right?
Monday.
So the Canadian Council of Business Leaders Against Anti-Black Systemic Racism today announced, at the time of the article, they announced the names of more than 200 organizations whose CEOs have signed the Black North Initiative's pledge, committing their organizations to specific actions and targets to designed to end anti-Black systemic racism. Right. What we're looking at right now is a picture after their actual website. Black North is created by Wes Hall. I think we do have a picture of the gentleman there as well. There you go. There's Wes Hall. He's quoted as saying this: "Until now, blacks have been left behind by the diversity movement in Canada. Today, that changes." Right. In just 47 days, we have built the modern Canadian version of the NAACP.
What I said.
Right? The Black North Initiative is purpose built to be the voice of blacks and the force to drive measurable change for blacks. Uniquely positioned, it has the reach, resources, and approach needed to dismantle anti-black systemic racism. Right. So, I mean, it's, again, another initiative out there by means, that it has now peaked to the forefront. And like you said, I mean, he's got over 200 organizations, right? And really like blue chip ones, right? That have signed the pledge. The pledge, in fact, which we'll go into a little bit in just a moment. However, though, he does state here that the list of supporting organizations is extraordinarily diverse and spans companies of all sizes, industries, and mandates, including financial, education, extractive industries, professional services, healthcare, online services, consulting, manufacturing, right? And of course, many more. Right. Notably, 30% of the companies on the TSX, that's the Toronto Stock Exchange, 60 have signed the pledge, and the total market cap of all committed organizations exceeds $1 trillion.
Wow.
Right. So I mean, by means,
Yay.
we can see our people going in a different route, right? Because at the end of the day, money talks.
Going for the money.
Exactly. Money does talk. Right. He's quoted later on as saying in the interview that I congratulate all the companies listed below. By means, you have to go to the website Black North Initiative or blacknorth.ca by means, to see who signed on. And you also go ahead and actually take a look at some of the key points of the pledge, which we'll go through in a moment. Right. Working through the Black North Initiative will increase our efforts to make our workplaces trusting places, to have complex and sometimes difficult conversations about anti-Black systemic racism, and ensure that no barriers exist to prevent Black employees from advancing within the company. Right. Second, initiative here, or point that is, working through the Black Initiative will implement or expand unconscious bias and anti-racism education. The aim, of course, is to create and share strategic inclusion and diversity plans.
Oh, these are the pledges. So stop before you go any further. You didn't put 5.
No, I know, because I didn't want to go through all of them.
Oh, but I found it for you, so Grant's going to put it up for us because you didn't put it.
Can I continue?
Yeah, you can. I just want to make sure, I didn't want you to get to that and be like, oh, I didn't put 5. I was just trying to give you the heads up.
No, I know I didn't put 5.
I didn't know that, though.
Okay. Thank you. Right. We will use the resources to work with members within the Black community through the Black North Initiative. I'm going to read this out a little bit further as well, because I think some of our people will definitely need to hear this. Through Black North Initiative, we will ensure that Black communities across Canada are aware of opportunities of employment within our organization.
Very
This
cool.
is speaking in regards to, of course, all the blue chip companies which have signed on through the pledge, right? And then employment opportunities are set aside for Black people, including committing to specific hiring goals of at least 5% within our student workforce from the Black community.
Okay.
Right. So I mean,
I like it.
It has its pros.
I like it.
Right?
I guess it sounds really nice.
Definitely, it has its pros. Right. I'm just gonna go ahead and continue to read some more of the pledges. Actually, from pledge number 4, the key point number 4, it continues to state here that through the Black North Initiative, we will invest at least 3% of corporate donations and sponsorships to promote investment and create economic opportunities in the Black community, both by 2025.
What's pledge 5? Can you read that? Can you tell us about that? I think that might be really important.
Go ahead.
It's not there.
Go
This
ahead.
is what I was trying to tell you.
Go ahead.
Okay, go to pledge 6.
So, we will engage Canada's corporate governance framework. The aim of the Black North Initiative is to include both board chairs and CEOs to foster inclusiveness for Black leaders at the board level, as well as at senior management and executive levels. In addition, as a numeric goal provides real
Impetus.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just think I was going to say it a little bit differently, but
Okay.
for change.
Got you.
We have made a goal at a minimum of 3.5% of executive and board roles based in Canada being held by Black leaders.
By 2025,
By 2025, yeah.
Okay.
Right. I mean, like I said, it definitely has its pros.
Sounds really good.
Right. It in a sense, it kind of sounds like what's happening in the States with the NMSDC, which is a huge acronym for the National Minority Supplier Development Council, who has now, they're looking, in fact, they've raised approximately $1 billion for also economic development within quote unquote minority spaces. Right. So it's definitely an interesting time now for all of us, and it goes to show you that racism, as I always said, right, cannot be eliminated by our culture alone. It's going to take people of all cultures to go ahead and actually eliminate racism.
Okay. It's very powerful there, Mr. Dave.
Thank you.
Next time, though, add your fifth. You can't skip a number. What if something in the fifth someone really needed to hear?
Listen, why are we talking about this right now?
Because
Stop that. Stripe y'all look. Anyways, we'll see you guys after the break.
Wait, can I tell them what's coming?
No, just come back. Trust me, she's got something real nice for you to go ahead and tell you. We'll see you guys after the break.
Can we do like a pretty fade or something? Can we do something a little bit, not sort of just dropping the mic?
Oh, wow.
Jeez, welcome back, everybody.
I guess we got to stay ready.
But I want like a little fear, a little like twist up or something nice, you know? Can we try that for the next segment? Thanks. Welcome back, guys, to Better Tomorrow. Just like that.
It's just like that?
Just like that.
All right, cool.
If you're just joining us, definitely go and check out the first two segments. We talked health. We talked some very powerful economic moves that Africans in the diaspora are making.
Yes.
Which is fantastic. I love to hear that stuff. Again, it sounds really good. I just hope that we follow through. That's my only hope, right? Like, we've had a lot of opportunities where I think this has happened. I don't think we've ever really gotten that muster that we need. So,
well, definitely. I mean, it's like I said before. I mean, it has its pros.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm happy it's happening.
Very, very much. You know, to be honest with you, I really hope, and I'm still hopeful that everything will fall at least under at least one umbrella across the board, regardless of what venture, what area you may specialize in. It falls at least under at least one umbrella, right?
Keep hope alive, my brethren.
By means, you know.
Keep hope alive.
That's what it is.
So we have some other things coming up now, though. Oh, boy, this was really uncomfortable when I heard it, and. Okay, so for me, with my position as a journalist and also as with my training in psychotherapy, I have to learn not to be judgmental and not to pick a side. Mm-hmm. It's something that I'm trained to do it, but sometimes certain stories are like, oh boy, okay. So pedophilia has been widely viewed as a psychological disorder triggered usually in early childhood trauma, okay? We know this, let's say, let's pick a name. R. Kelly?
It's a good example.
It's one that came to mind, right?
Cool.
Mind you, let's be real. People like Woody Allen.
Yes.
U2. Elvis. U2. This has been happening. This is nothing new.
Right. Jerry Lee Lewis.
Married is that's like he made family. And she was younger. So it's been happening. Now many experts see it as a biologically rooted condition that does not change like a sexual orientation. Thanks largely to a decade of research by this man, Dr. James Cantor at the Center for Addicts and Mental Health, so CAMH. Okay. So pedophilia share a number of physical characteristics, okay? I just did a little bit of digging to see what was coming up about that, including differences in brain wiring. It's now thought that about 1 to 5% of men are pedophiles, like
wow.
1 to 5%.
Wow.
Okay. Meaning they are primarily attracted to children. Okay. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper into this. These findings have been widely accepted among scientists, but have had little impact on social attitudes or law. However, we are left with the alarming question: if some men are born pedophiles, what should society do with them? So now they're saying that these men might just be born this way. So pedophiles share many physical characteristics. They are shorter on average than other men. They are 3 times more likely to be left-handed or ambidextrous.
Oh, gosh.
What's wrong?
Oh, my God.
What's wrong? Their IQs are about 10 to 15 points lower. And finally, they are more prone to childhood head injuries. It's interesting. The evidence suggests pedophilia results from atypical wiring in the brain. The stimuli that usually evokes nurturing and protective reactions in adults is instead evoking sexual reactions in a pedophile. So where they'd say where the people whose brains are wired normally will see a child and be like, oh my God, oh my God, I want to take care of you. For them, they're instantly sexually aroused. That's just how their brains are wired.
Wow.
Okay? So Michael Seto, he is a pedophilia expert and forensic researcher with the Royal Ontario Health Group. And he has argued forcibly for pedophilia to be thought of as a sexual orientation. An idea he acknowledges is controversial, but hopes will actually help prevent child abuse. So one of his concerns, he said, which he said it right away, with labeling pedophilia a sexual orientation, is the potential for it to draw parallels with homosexuality, right? Because obviously, what's homosexuality now, that is considered that's sexual orientation, gay, straight, like, so there's all those letters. I don't remember them all. I'm not good at it.
Right.
But he's scared that now pedophilia would be like right in there. I heard there's even a symbol now for them, but we're going to get back to that. Bolstered by this research, of course, now pedophiles who have never molested children, they say, are seeking social acceptance. So there's actually a website called Virtuous Pedophiles, and it's co-founded for pedophiles who have never molested children. The group says their attraction is one they were born with and cannot change, but they can control it. The goal of Virtuous Pedophiles is to prevent child abuse by reducing the stigma against non-offending pedophiles. This is Wagwan right now. You're very serious. Nothing to say about this, eh?
Protect the children, family. That's all I can say. Protect the children.
1 to 5%.
Protect the children.
And let's just pull this out and call a spade. Jamaica, this is rampant. Incest, also in the Caribbean culture. People can ignore it all they want, but that's rampant too, guys. Little girls are getting molested, and little boys too. In African Caribbean homes, this is happening. So everyone can turn up their nose if they want, but they're saying here that this just might be the way that they're wired. So now what do you do? This is why my throat's closing up and I can't breathe. I'm saying words all wrong. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, very much. I don't even know what else to say about it.
There's nothing else you can say. I just wanted to bring the news to you. You know what? Before I go any further, I want to thank. I have help now with our research. Ms. Jericho Went. She helps bring these topics to me, and I appreciate you bringing this up because, again, there's things that we don't discuss, and they just go left unsaid, and they don't happen, and then people grow up damaged, and then that damage gets passed on, and it keeps going and going. So we need to talk about this stuff. This cannot be ignored. There are pedophiles in the Black community. Let's not act like there's not, okay? It's happening. How do we deal with it? This is their way of dealing with it. Just putting it out there and saying, look, here's a website. Come true. You can control it like a sex addiction.
So, segueing into local news. Local news.
Dave's done.
Yeah.
He's done with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Metrolinx, who pretty much controls...
Oh, yeah.
all the transit, right? So apparently they had a deal to go ahead and assign some land for a new community center, right, in the Jane and Finch area.
Yes.
Right, and I'm going to go ahead and say thanks to the Star for going ahead and putting this one out. Leaders in the Jane and Finch neighborhood say they're outraged by the news from Metrolinx, who is scrapping the plans to donate land for a community hub in their area, while opposition parties called on Premier Doug Ford's government to step in and reverse decision. Right, so anybody knows right now, in the Jane and Finch area, they are creating this huge, massive transit hub.
It's
right?
a mess down there.
Yeah, it's, construction for the past couple of years has always been a mess. But now, terrible. But pretty much within that same area, they're going to go and carve out a piece of land, right? But as we stated just a while ago, they're no longer
doing it anymore.
Exactly. They've rescinded on that. Right. So as the Star reported on Wednesday, Metrolinx, the provincial transit agency for the GTHA, told the local city council last week that it wouldn't make land near a new Finch West LRT maintenance and storage facility available for an arts and culture
Wow, they just said, "Bun, you guys ain't getting nothing."
Yeah,
we're gonna put a train here though.
It's a decision. By means, it's a slap in the face, and by means, it's disrespect.
Yeah. They've been doing that to that area from time though.
Yeah, of course. Not
new.
Trust me. So despite previously signaling its intention to make the land available for the project after the 1.2 billion LRT's completion, now scheduled for 2023, the agency said it intends to sell the property instead.
Oh wow, they're gonna make money off of it?
They're gonna make the money instead.
Oh, really, guys? Okay.
So it begs me to answer the question: is this a COVID-19 thing? And the only reason why I say that is this: with everything, of course, happening, nobody's making the type of money that.
Oh, I see what you're
right?
saying. Are they saying like, no, we've lost so much money already.
Right.
We need to sell this just to make up for the money that we've lost.
Mm-hmm.
That's feisty, though. You can't promise. That's feisty. I was about to say something that's like really bad, but you know what I'm trying to say. That's feisty.
It's AMSAS.
You guys can't be doing
speaking.
that. Call these out. Metrolink, shame on you.
Yeah, man. So big up Butterfly Gopal. She's a resident of Jane and Finch Action Against Poverty. She said against the decision was galling but not surprising. She said it follows a pattern of government authorities under investing in her community, where more than 3/4 of residents are visible minorities and more than 1/4 live in low-income households. Right? It's just terrible.
They just don't care.
Nobody cares.
They don't care.
No, not at all. Tiffany Ford, who grew up in the area, she said that the decision was shocking. It's not really fair. It's been so many years that we've been talking about this. And in fact, they had plans. And I guess,
Do you have a picture? Did you put it up yet, Grant? The picture of the community center, how it was supposed to look?
There you go.
Pretty.
Yeah. That's the
oh my
mock-up there.
Gosh. That's so nice.
Could you imagine something like this within that area?
How it would just bring up the esteem of the area.
Yes. Right.
Wow.
But by means, big fish eat little fish, as we all know it, right? Ford said local residents saw the community center as a reasonable compensation for having the Finch LRT maintenance and storage facility located in the heart of their neighborhood.
Yeah.
The facility would include a train yard, electrical substation, and a 9,000 square meter garage and an office building.
So they want to set up shop. Oh, wow. Metrolink, man.
Right. So the proposed community hub will be located on a 32-meter wide strip of land north of Finch Avenue West, south of the LRT garage, between North Finch Drive and Yorkgate Boulevard. So right by the mall.
Yeah, right by Yorkgate.
Right by the mall. Right. In a statement, Tom Rickle Civic, please, I apologize once again. The new Democratic MPP for the area said Jane and Finch families are counting on this community hub, and the decision to abruptly change course on this visionary project is a devastating blow. Right? I'm not going to continue to read on the remaining of the article because it's pretty much beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
Right. So by means,
Toys even spoke about. I see.
Those in the community, those who care about the community, reach out to the MPP. Let's go ahead and actually attempt to put some more pressure.
Force these people to put that community center there.
Right. I mean,
people can't get away with doing that, man. You can't promise something and not even give a good explanation as to why. If
they are going to go ahead and sell the land, by means demand the proceeds from the sale.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be your land.
Yes. Put it back into the community. Don't build nothing. Give them the money. because
they ain't doing that.
because we already know what you promised, right? And you reneged on the promise, right? Give them money.
So I have a question. Was this in paper? Like, is this something that the legal system can take care of? Like, there must have been put something down on paper. There had to be. This wasn't one of those things where it's like, yeah, guy, don't worry, we're gonna give you this just now. They didn't do that.
Well, we're gonna see what, of course, what type of pressure gets placed.
Something has to happen.
Right, by means, through the MVP, straight to John Tory, and then onwards to Doug Ford. Because if you can go ahead and craft up bills, such as 195
and amend liquor laws.
And
do something about this.
Directly refine those things, then by means, step up to the plate.
Yeah. So that was this segment. None of it good. Sorry, we had to throw this. We did the burger effect. So it's like positive information, flinging the negative. And we're going to end really nice because guess what, guys? I have some positive news about some brilliant children. And if you really don't want to be here in Toronto, we can give you options of places to work. See, we're ending nice. We'll see you guys soon on A Better Tomorrow.
The word of the day is noodle. It's sort of satisfaction you feel when something clicks for you and you sort of just get it, and all of these puzzle pieces slot into place.
I always remember I was driving him to nursery and he was telling me about something he'd seen on the news, and it was a very political subject. And I was thinking, I was just like laughing with him, and later on that afternoon I saw the topic on the TV and I thought, Mum, my 2.5-year-old's been talking to me about this in the car this morning. It was just bizarre.
It's probably a place of me not knowing something, and from that ignorance it's like a desire to actually understand it, to know it. It's just about finding your thing and finding what you actually are very interested in, what makes you excited, what you actually want to learn about.
What was that, guy? What kind of special intro was that?
Stop it.
Guy, we have to get a new production manager, eh? I'm gonna fire this one. Welcome back, everybody, to, I was gonna say In the Now, not to catch myself. A Better Tomorrow with Diva and Simone. This has been an interesting show. Before we go and finish this off with a bang, we're gonna talk about this. This little child is a genius. I hope he doesn't want to make vaccines. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. What have you thought about the show, Dave? Just for the information.
It's got its high points and of course,
Very lowish points.
yeah, the last segment. I mean, we can see in regards to like
It's disturbing points.
it's all connected in regards to what's happening for the time of the day.
Yeah.
Like I said, we just got to be hip to the game. And
Don't believe the hype.
There you go. Right.
Pick up the paper, guys. I'm gonna throw it out there. You'll definitely like what's in there this week. So
Continue to create solutions, my friend.
continue to create solutions. So maybe this young man will do it. Mr. Ramarni Wilfred is a British teenager, and he has an IQ score higher than Einstein, Hawkins, and even Bill Gates. So Ramarni achieved 162 on his IQ test. I don't even know what I was trying to say there. So the 6-year-old East London schoolboy is one of the 50 world's smartest teens and was only 10 years old when he wrote a paper on the philosophy of fairness, and his unusually high essay score qualified him to take an IQ test at Birkbeck University.
All right.
Smart picnic.
Yeah.
All right. Genius number 2. At 4 years old, New Orleans native Anala Beavers possessed an IQ of over 145. By 10 months old, she could identify and point to each letter of the alphabet. I'm always so curious what happens for them to be this smart. Like, that's crazy. At 10 months, most people at 10 months can't even walk. She's pointing out alphabets. So, reportedly by 18 months, Anala was reciting numbers in both Spanish and English. And by her 5th birthday in 2014, she could recite the name of every North American state on the map, even capital. So this is our third genius. This is 4-year-old schoolgirl Alana George, and she's UK's second youngest Mensa member with an IQ score of 140.
Amazing.
All right. So she's obsessed with words and numbers and taught herself how to read before even starting school.
Very nice.
So, yeah, smart kids. I think that was a positive. That was a very positive
Very
story.
nice.
There's some brilliant young minds out there. So there's hope for the world. There is. There's actually hope. I'm hoping that these young minds are nurtured and fostered, and they can maybe help to reverse some of the damage that we are going through right now. Right?
That's the plan.
That's all we can hope for.
Big up the parents who were involved. Definitely.
Good for you guys pushing your child. It's good.
Yes.
It's good.
All right. Last week we had mentioned in regards to working remotely.
Yes.
Right, in the Caribbean. Big up once again Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley, who is now, as we mentioned last week, offered a 12-month welcome stamp for everybody who wants to go and be in the beautiful island of Barbados. Right. We got some updates in regards to what is needed. Right. I want to say thank you, of course, to you who received the press release. So big up the whole Barbados,
yes.
exchange there who went in and set this off to us. Just to state here, Barbados has simplified the visa application process to ensure a stress-free experience for 12-month Barbados welcome stamp applicants. Right. That picture there was from the website www.barbadoswelcomestamp.bb. Right. They'll need the following for those who are applying for an application. So 2 passport size photographs, bio data page of passports, birth certificates for everybody who's included, proof of relationship to the dependents, an entry visa where that is applicable, and the fees. Right, an individual fee is $2,000 American dollars, and a family bundle of $3,000 USD. Right, so I mean, it's fairly, yeah, definitely, again, it has its pros.
But there's this who's picking up to go to Barbados for a year? Like, how does that work? Like, okay, you have your visa. Where do you have to stay? Where do you have to live?
Well, I mean, I'm sure everything can be definitely arranged with that. I mean, it all comes down to doing your research. Because, people, from here repatriate, they go back home, right? Or they go straight to the continent.
Repatriate.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Wait.
Thank you very much. Right? So by means, it is something that's definitely on the table, especially what's happening here in the Americas, for those who no longer want to be in the Americas, and be in the sunshine. By means, Barbados is definitely a place to go ahead and take a look at.
Martinique needs to do this. Hurry up.
I think all of the islands should go ahead and definitely, invoke something like this, but that's just me. Once again, you can go to www.barbadoswelcomestamp.bb or www.visitbarbados.org, and go ahead and take a look in regards to the information there. I know in regards to like testing for COVID, by means it's either A, you have to have a test prior, right, and of course reveal the results, or B, you would have to take the test when you reach,
Get there.
right?
Yeah.
But by means, either way, it is an option on the table, And as I mentioned, of course, other islands who should go ahead and adopt, Bermuda.
Yes.
Bermuda is looking at something like this as well, right? Jason Hayward, the labor minister, announced that the moves in the House Assembly is leaning towards also a 1-year residential certificate, right? They said, in fact, that this is supposed to come in effect as of the first week of August, right? He's quoted as saying that there are persons who are location independent, using technology to perform their job no matter where they are. Such persons work remotely, telecommuting, rather than being physically present at a company's headquarters, right, or office. Remote working has been a growing trend for some time, and it is something that the Bermuda government has been examining as part of its technology-focused economic diversification strategy. Doesn't it? It looks like one of the beaches we visited when we went down, right?
Yes.
Right. By means, they are extending a residential stay to students as well. I don't have the full details in regards to that, but by means, again, for those of us who no longer wish to be here in the Americas.
Come out.
Right? We have options. There are definitely options
Leave.
out there. Right? So, by means, for those who need a little bit more information regarding this as well, just Google it. I didn't get an official press release for this as of yet. I'm sure it's coming down the pipeline real soon, considering, and there's that word con, right? First week of August is supposed to go ahead and take an effect.
That's our show, guys. I want to remind you guys, of course, if you find the information valuable, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, very
most
much.
definitely. And more importantly, if there's news that is important to you, send it to us. Like we want to get as much information out that you guys want to hear. Not forget what we want to hear. It's what you guys need to hear. What's important that you think the community needs to know. You can find Dave and me at Simone Jennifer Smith on all social media, and Dave on some convoluted IR Dave Rankin. Just put in Dave Rankin and it will come up. Convoluted. You like that, eh? Confusing, blocked, blurry, convoluted.
It's very clear. And
IR. Anyhow, guys,
There
you
you go.
guys have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. Enjoy it. Go out and walk. Eat some swimmers, fish. Eat some meat. And look out. Yeah. Oh, thank you for reminding us. This is where production manager sometimes is helpful. Definitely look out for the next edition of the Toronto Caribbean newspaper. The vaccine topic is huge right now. I mean, people are warring online because of this. And we actually get to speak to someone who is versed in the whole subject. Not only is he versed, but he's also part of a really infamous family. Look out for that, guys. We'll see you next week on A Better Tomorrow.
Peace and love, family.